Hi, this is Yvette Barrios again for Bronco Virtual Day. Today I have Trevor Lujan. So Trevor, can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, I'd be happy to, Yvette. So I've been at Boise State since 2012. I'm an associate professor. I got my undergraduate in a mechanical engineering department at University of Wisconsin, and then I got my PhD at University of Utah. And then I did some postdoctoral work in Portland, working with orthopedic surgeons. And so, yeah, now I'm at Boise State, and I direct a lab called the Northwest Tissue Mechanics Lab.
Oh, that's great. Okay, so now, one thing that students probably don't know is that you're on sabbatical right now in Spain. So what do you look forward to most about coming back to Boise State this fall?
Well, first of all, I look forward to being able to leave my house. We've been under lockdown for about 2.5 weeks, and there's about 3 weeks to go. Yeah, I'm really excited to come back for a few reasons. One, I really enjoy working with my colleagues at Boise State, yourself included, and just the kind of the warm environment that I think that we have in the mechanical engineering department. Two, I really look forward to teaching. I've been spending this year quite a bit of focus on research, and teaching is something I love doing. I think that Boise State, what I really like about Boise State is that they have found this really good sweet spot between having a focus on undergraduate education, but also being able to have world-class research and really good research labs. And so being able to get in the classroom is something I like to do. And then third, I love Boise. It's a great city to be, and I look forward to coming home.
That's great. We're excited for you to come back. So I'm glad you mentioned your lab earlier. So what exactly do you do in your lab?
So the focus of my lab is to look at kind of two things. I look at injuries, and these are injuries to our musculoskeletal system, so ligaments, tendons, joints. And then I look at healing. So how can we improve how we heal after injury, and how can we prevent injury? And we approach this by really using fundamental mechanical engineering concepts, doing a lot of experimentation and imaging, as well as some computational work to try to describe why injuries happen and ways to prevent them, as well as how can we accelerate the healing process. So that's kind of the main focus in my lab.
Oh, that's great. Okay. And do you have undergrads in your lab? And if so, what do they do?
Oh yeah. The undergrads are a critical element in my lab. Since I got to Boise State in 2012, I've had now 25 undergraduates work in my lab.
Wow.
And I think almost all of them have worked for at least a year in my lab. I think of those 25, 7 of them went on to get a graduate degree in my lab, and several others went on to graduate degrees in other labs. Many of them have gone on to great jobs as well, including Google. One of them went on to work at Google, and as well as jobs all throughout Boise. But they are a really important element of the work that we do.
That's great. That's great to hear. So thank you. And so, for Bronco Day, it's a lot of students that are looking at either already coming to Boise State or potentially coming to Boise State. So for those that are still trying to decide, what kind of advice, why should they choose Boise State? Why should they come here?
Yeah, I think that what Boise State can offer something that almost no other university can. And it sort of touches on what I said before, that we're able to give students the opportunity to be around a really good research environment where they have faculty that are doing advancing technology. So they're on the cutting edge of technology. But our focus remains on the students, and particularly the undergraduates. That's how Boise State began. And every year, that's what we try to maintain. And so I think that's rare. Usually if you have a really big research institute, there is not so much of a focus on the undergraduate education. And that's just not the case here. Students, undergrads get in the labs, they see the faculty on a day-to-day basis. And so I think that I can't think of another school that does it as well as Boise State in that regard.
Oh, that's fantastic. So, do you have any additional thoughts for the students that are attending Bronco Day virtually?
Yeah, well, I hope that you come to Boise State. I think I've traveled actually. My wife and I have traveled all over the world and lived in many different cities. And I can tell you that there is no better city to live than Boise, at least from my experience. And so I think that you get a great education, you get a great student environment, and you get a great city to live in that has a lot of outdoor recreation. So I think it's going to be a choice that you don't regret if you come to Boise.
Yeah, I couldn't have said that better myself. So I appreciate you taking the time, Trevor. And I wanted to say, go Broncos.
Okay, go Broncos. Good to see you, Beth. Thanks.